Yeah, my name's Chris Rosansky. I'm the principal of Birmingham Theatre School, and we are in the throes of staging a graduation show for July 2004.
Don't forget while you're stretching, you can be warming up those vocal cords, humming Pavlov's dogs. Fantastic!
It's an adaptation by Matthew Francis, and clearly it's an epic production which kind of encapsulates all the kind of skills that are needed in staging a major piece of theatre.
Lovely, that's fine.
It's a kind of love story. It's also a story with a backdrop set up during the French Revolution. Two characters, Charles Darnay and Sidney Carlton, both fall in love with the same woman, but from two quite different backgrounds. And it works towards a climactic end where one sacrifices the life for the other for the love of a lady. An adaptation is 80 pages long, so you're using a lot of visuals, you're using a lot of music, you're using a lot of physical theatre to be able to kind of transcend 20 pages in 20 seconds. So you've got to use almost picture paintings in order to tell word stories. Dickens used a large number of words when you just can't afford to spend that length of time in a play. I mean, the play itself, I think it lasts about 3 hours in total, including an interval.
A simple tune and then improvise around it for as long as the scene needs, taking it up in intensity.
The way we use music with the theatre school is it's a bit like a film soundtrack. We don't just do songs and then we sit around reading the paper. We play, if you listen to the play, we're playing all the way through. And every scene we're playing underscore, atmospheric underscore, and then we do all the scene changes, all the changes of cities, change of places, and everything's underscored by music, which means once we start playing our first note at the beginning of this act, we don't stop till page 42 or something like that.
The tension, you get long, kind of a whole scene which we don't have anything specific to play. We'll just underscore it so you can just moving around with maybe a low tension, and then you're going to move it.
We can enhance it, and we can also blow the moment as well.
Yeah,
because if we're too loud or we come at the one time. But I mean, our concentration levels have to be very high, because if they make a mistake, they skip a cue. Right. So like we're going back to go into a tension, and they've gone into another part of the scene, which is actually a happy part of the scene.
You've got to ask yourself the pertinent question: how do I begin to tell a story that uses possibly 100 or more characters, transcends 5 years in time, and takes you through a whole revolution? You've got to be able to kind of not just have narrative, but you've got to use the visual as well as the narrative. So yes, there are lots of theatre devices that are used in the production, as well as dialogue and the narrative word.
How are we going to light these?
Not to my knowledge, no. You? I'll talk to him now. Skill. Yes. I'm going to ask Chris about that now. No.
I'm just thinking, if they're in our jacket, will they get crushed? Do you know what I mean? Like there's a spine and it's going to get
I might give you a rubber blanket or something.
Have you got something?
Yes, I've got loads of things. Hey, where are you setting your sword, mate?
Katie, you put them back in the pockets at the end of the scene too.
Jem, do you give flowers to Mrs. Minette?
I have to do something.
Need everybody, please, just to stand in their requisite positions for the start.
I think everybody's been here pretty much 10 till 6 for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and over the last weekend it's 10 till 10 Saturday, Sunday, it's 10 till 10 today, it's 10 till 10 tomorrow, and then that's it. We're off Wednesday evening, first show. So yeah, it's been quite tiring.
There's probably about 10 to 15 members of staff, directors, choreographers, designer, technicians are all working on, assistant director, all working on the production, and each chips in their piece of understanding of how you tell a story, and it's a sort of collaborative process, really.
You can't do that. Your voice has got to go up there, not here. You sing over the heads of the first 5 words. You've got to accept the wood that's got the light on it at the back. That's where you sing.
Yeah, but I need you to have on the tower, otherwise swing it round.
Yes, lean over, take your physicality out and sing to the middle. Sing to where Tom is.
Okay.
Ria, the singing teacher, she's very, very experienced. She's very good. She always looks after everybody. If you've ever got, look at the moment, I've got like a sore throat. I've got to go on stage tonight, and she's already like put something on me that's hopefully going to help it get better. And she just knows the stuff.
So you can reach the back wall without having to push for it.
She's brilliant, isn't she? She's really, really good. My singing's just improved like 50%, because I did a lot of singing before I came to the course, and with her she just made me sing so much better than before. She's really good in the sort of mentor, like helping you with your problems, and also with the physical, she lets you know how to look after your throat and how to look after your body and that kind of thing. Also she gives you the oils to help and things, and tells you what vitamins to take, and really teaches you how to look after your voice and look after yourself.
Well, I think it started with about 90, slightly less now. As the project unfolds, you're inevitably going to get to a point where people have to drop out. Some people can't cope, and others just simply find that the stress levels are quite high. So we started with about 90. I think we've lost about 10 people in total from the original rehearsal process down to the last.
Recall to life.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm quite hyped up. On the other hand, I'm a bit nervous, just because I haven't gone through like the set properly with all our scenes. But I'm sure we'll go for that later on. So a bit apprehensive, I suppose. I just wanted to get over the tech, get it done. So I think when we finish the tech, I think we'll all feel a lot better. I think a lot of us will just like relax more.
I'm all right. The technical side is a bit worrying, but they'll sort that out because they know what they're doing.
Well, we've got through 3/4 of the first scene.
They want to see your entrance, Heather.
And how did that go? They want to see my entrance again. Heather, we want to see your entrance, or went up in there.
I'm so sorry. I honestly thought that this is Heather.
We're just going for the entrance again. In the right order. Where are the open access heading to? Keep going.
The prisoner, the records, the secret cell, the instruments of torture.
I'm a little scared, but to be honest with you, I'm more excited. Absolutely tired. Tonight's performance is obviously it's the first one, and it's gonna have to be good because, I mean, only like half the show's teched at the moment, so what's gonna happen with that, I'm not sure. But I'm really excited. I can't wait to get out there and perform in front of people because it's probably the biggest audience I've ever performed to before, and I thrive on the audience. So.
Well, I think it's a learning curve every year for the actors, because just as you get to the point where they've reached their optimum, they leave, because that's the point. You're training people to get a job. So when you see your actors get to the point where they can work on this sort of scale of theatre, it's great to see. But would this stand? I think it's as good as any other year. And I think that's a credit to the process more than anything else. Because if it's all about the individual and you can't replicate that with the next year student, then you're clearly not doing your job properly.
Gracious creator of day, to be buried alive for 18 years. Recalled to life. Recalled to life.
Recalled to life.
You've got to think about how to include 80 people, when to include them, when's the best maximum use of the ensemble company. Generally, it's used for the singing sequences in the show and the big epic sequences such as the storming of the Bastille, the 2 court sequences. When you're watching it, you shouldn't think graduate, your first year student, you should just experience the whole production.
Our course is a part-time course called the Open Access course, and we just do 10 till 5, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And our part in this particular production is just as ensemble and chorus characters to back up the people who are on the full-time courses who are graduating.
By 7 o'clock, I'm going to be, you know, breaking it. But I think we just need confidence. It's time for you. It's time for me. It's time for us. It's time for us to make a team.
I'm shitting myself. The simple fact that we're on scene 12 and we've got how long have we got? How many more scenes? Well, a whole act and nearly a half to take.
I haven't slept a wink all night, but I'm also really excited and I can't wait to just actually get on the stage and do the character because I love the character so much.
I'm not really nervous as such now, but wait till a bit later on, I will be. I think the first half I'm alright with. It's the second half that none of us know entrances, exits, timing, what we're supposed to be doing when we're on the stage because it's so confusing. Yeah, I always get more nervous towards just before the performance than earlier in the day.
I'd rather call it excitement, maybe.
Yeah.
Will you try?
I may use the freedom with that name.
I think so, Carl. By this time.
But yes, there are always difficulties with these projects, with so many people involved and so many lives and so many people's families and so many people's friends. It's inevitable that you're going to have a situation where something's going to come up, somebody's going to be ill, so a crisis is going to arise, a personal dilemma. But it's trying to keep on top of it and making sure that the momentum of the piece doesn't get stalled because half a dozen people have got to go home because something's happened. Because if you do that, it's over.
Okay. Quiet, please. Stop talking.
Just a little. I think it's hugely stressful. I think it's actually addictive, though.
When do, shh, quiet! When do you step into that then? He's here. He's here.
You just have to remember what your job is and what his job is and accept it.
Yeah.
And anything out of that is different.
One's coming on. Straight on in that second sequence of music. Don't faff around.
He who must be obeyed at all times. And I really shouldn't be saying this with the camera on me, but he's a fanatic, but he does the best shows in the world, which is why we have a set the size of an aircraft hangar.
Shh. Okay. Shh. Quiet. Here we right. Not with the song, just walking through.
I mean, he likes his, because before he was designer, I think. So he likes all this like technical. I think that's why it takes so long, because he wants everything to be just right, perfect. So I can understand that, because his technicals, his shows, they are really, the lighting and the sound, it's very good. So he knows what he's doing in that respect, and also acting. He knows his stuff.
That's fine. Over there.
Fine.
No problems. Okay. Open access on the. Yeah, that's fine. Don't be, when you're singing, you need to lean over the balconies, otherwise you get lost. Don't talk. Okay. You can get that chill. It just sounded like it was coming through a little speaker shoved in the corner. You were completely dwarfed in that verse. We're going to do it.
I think a lot of things I've been told to you about Chris, like you're supposed to fear him or something, but when you actually work with him, you see that he's really professional about what he does. The only reason why he's probably so strict in what he does is because he wants it done a certain way, and I don't think that's a bad thing, because I mean, to get perfection you need to discipline yourself, and the discipline in which he puts on us, it's not dominating or anything. It's a fact of, you know what, if you're in the scene, be there. If you've got to be in costume, just do it. And it's not something hard. I mean, we've only got one little part to play. He's got so many people to maneuver or work with. So if everyone works along with everyone else, then it works.
If you do what you're supposed to do, then he's there for you, kind of thing. I think it's really good.
You are dealing with a lot of expectation. You're dealing with people's lives, you're dealing with people's ambitions, you're dealing with people's futures, and you're trying to make sure that you are answering all those questions. You know, is this process justifiable? Is it worthwhile doing? And I think the answer to that is not to me. I think the answer should be asked of the people who've gone through it. You know, at the end of that process, was it worth doing? Because I mean, for us, it's a repetitious cycle. For the student who only does it once, was it worth the effort that they put in? Clearly, from an audience point of view, they'll sit there and they will watch it and think, wow. But does that actually, you know, they don't have much of an inkling as to how it actually was constructed, and neither should they. Because actually, who wants to watch how the mechanism of a factory works? You just want to see the product. You don't want to see the behind the scenes. You just want to sit down, enjoy yourself, and be taken along the journey of whatever the story that it is. But yeah, it is stressful, and it is very, it's very time-consuming, and it's very tiring. But I think it's definitely worth doing.
They definitely develops you as an actor. You can only learn from it, really. The whole process from the director. It's just a big production, so you get a lot of people to talk to, the assistant director, the stage hands, the props. So you do develop. You develop as a whole actor.
one beginner's card.
Can we get in before we go? Yeah. Here we go. Cheers, guys.
Okay.
You've got to have a vision from the outset. If you don't have a vision from the outset and an angle upon how you're going to do the production, you just get carried away by the demands. You've got to have a fixed frame upon which you're going to work. Otherwise, it just gets pulled all over the place and you lose sight of the story that you're trying to tell. And that has to come back to the basic narrative, really, being able to find the common thread, the story, and then eventually how do you want to tell that story. And being quite decisive as well, not just being prepared to compromise just because time isn't on your side. You've got to have a commitment to what you want to do, and if it's not a popular choice, well then, you know, that's so be it.
Oh yeah, thanks to everyone that's helped in the production, director and assistant director, and everyone's been a great help to us all.